Shows family. It's Nomsa here at Ngozi Talk Shows. So today our topic is how to overcome storms in life, storms of life. Basically, sorry guys, I'm late. Basically, just before I came on, I was solving a storm. I bought this phone, my phone, 4 years ago, 2019. 2019, yes. Um, no, I had a contract phone in 2019 with Vodafone, and this phone I've been using ever since. So I got a new phone now, and the other phone it doesn't work, and the other phone doesn't work. So I've decided instead of fixing it here, it's very expensive, like 170. So I was like, I'm gonna send it to my mom through DHL, and they can fix it in Africa. So I send it through DHL, and the DHL actually for the phone that doesn't work. That is worth 50, maybe £50. It was expensive when I bought it. It was worth 1,000 something, but now it's worth maybe £50. They're demanding basically duty, um, $600 basically for duty. So I said to my mom, let them return my phone. So those were the storms that are basically, when I created that topic, I didn't realize I'm gonna have to face the storms. So we do basically. Are you someone who is walking through a storm in your life, storm of life right now? Because I am walking in a storm of life right now with this phone, but hopefully it's going to be sorted out. So I asked my mom to ask them to return the phone, because it's not worth it. I've never had anyone that says pay for duty for something that is personal or something that is not working. I think that's very disgraceful to our African countries. Unfortunately, that's how things are with corruption. There's so much corruption in Africa. So somebody believe that they are doing their job by basically being corrupt. So um, so which storm? What kind of storm are you walking through it right now? When you are walking through a storm, storms comes into our lives to give us a testimony, to give us a miracle, but we have to know how to respond in that storm. It could be the storm of struggling in your relationship. It could be your relationship is struggling right now, or it could be your career is struggling right now. Some people, basically during the pandemic, some people lost their jobs, and some companies are shutting down. There are people that I know. There's someone that I know who basically she was applying for a promotion, and she applied for the job promotion. She got it, and then a month later, they got told that the company is shutting down because they can't afford the lease. The lease has gone up, so they can't afford. The company can't afford, no longer afford rent. So that is another storm. And I'm sure there are so many people who are facing those kind of storm. But how do you calm the storm down? When you're going through struggle, when everything you are trying in your life, it seems like basically it seems like your life is being threatened by struggles. How do you calm storms down when the storm is basically threatening to destroy your life? When the storm is threatening to destroy your health, how do you calm it down? When the storm is threatening to destroy your career, How do you calm it down? When you are overwhelmed by everything that is going on in your life, when you feel like you're drowning, because that's what the storm does. When the unexpected is presented to your life, the trials and tribulation, when they're threatening, invading your life, what do? When the storms is threatening your existence, what do? If you don't know whether you're going to make it, what do? Some people may say, maybe going through storm right now and saying, no, so how can I have faith? When everything that I try is threatened by my existence, is threatening my existence, how can I have faith? The storm is designed to strengthen me. The storm is designed to help you grow, to help your faith grow. The storm is designed to test you. It is designed to help you, to get you out of your comfort zone. Like right now, I am presented with this storm. I've sent my phone. And when I send the phone, I know the phone it has value in it, but it hasn't got the value that people are asking. So they're asking me to pay for the phone, the phone that is worth like less than £100. They're asking me to pay £600. So I could easily get stressed, but it has made me realize that actually, if I'm being asked to pay that money, that means that somebody else is paying it, and they shouldn't be paying it. That means that somebody else is sending goods and they are paying it goods for what they shouldn't be paid, because hey, okay, let's see. Hey, Hasrata, how are you? You want me to call you? How do I call you? How do I call you? Do you want me to call your name? And how do I call you? So the stones is designed basically to actually, when I got this phone call, is making me realize that actually um, the world, it's like in UK, life is straightforward. When I send this phone, basically, I bought the phone in 2019. The life in UK is straightforward. When somebody asks you, so how much did the phone cost? Hey, thank you so much. So I could easily have lied to them and say it cost nothing, but that's what it cost me. And back then, but it doesn't cost that anymore. So I've sent it basically being honest, and I said it cost me this much, but at the moment it doesn't work. So that means it's the value of that phone is gone down. So basically, and then it arrived, and then they're saying you need to pay this much. So I could look at it as a storm, but when I look at it, I'm looking at it as that is against the trading rules. It doesn't matter which country that is. If you buy something for 50 something that is worth £50, and then somebody tells you that pay uh 600 for it to pay duty, how can you pay a duty for a phone? That doesn't work for me. It doesn't make sense. I thought you pay duty for something that is new, something that you've bought, something that you're gonna trade or you're gonna sell it, basically. So I was like, I said to my mom, I'm confused, so just tell them to return my goods back to where and it cost me money to send it. So that that is another storm. But when I look at it, I'm basically looking at it. Oh, thank you so much. Thank you so much. So I'm looking at it as basically this storm basically is opening my eyes, because this is the world that I did not exist. I didn't know that basically people buy things, and then they old things, and then you send it to Africa, and then this you have to declare for duty for things for a phone that is a second hand. For me, basically, is helping me not to take life for granted. So that's why I'm realizing now that I shouldn't take life for granted, because there are some people, and also is as a businesswoman is helping me not to take people for granted as well. Because when you charge somebody and you basically gaining out of somebody, and knowing that is wrong, that is basically, it's not good for business. And that's how I see my storm. So if you are walking through a storm right now, please feel free. When you walk into this room, please feel free to type it. We can have a chat about your storm that you are facing, or you don't have to worry about people watching your name, and you can write a similar storm that you're, if you don't want to say exactly the storm that you are facing, you can write something similar if you don't want Nomsa to know. But for me, basically, I'm not here to judge, because there are times where sometimes I go through storms in my life. But if I need help, I'm just gonna have to say it as it is. So if you are coming into the room, please type in what kind of a storm you are facing, or if you have faced a storm before, how were you able to actually uh, sort out the storm? Because storms comes in so many forms of ways. During the pandemic, we found ourselves around the world. We find ourselves facing the storm. But the storm of pandemic, of course, it took people's lives. But at the same time, it made me realize that my job, being sitting in the office, my job is not actually it's not valuable than somebody who works in the supermarket. It made me realize actually the people that works in the supermarket, without them, I wouldn't be able to survive. So that's how I saw the pandemic, and it made me realize actually the people that are working for in NHS basically as a whole. If it wasn't there, if it wasn't for people through NHS, I wouldn't be here today. So that's what basically it made me realize that they are important to us. And but before the pandemic, when you see somebody wearing a healthcare uniform, you wouldn't value them. You would just say, I wouldn't want to be this, I wouldn't, this is the kind of job that I wouldn't want, because it will find so many excuses. But when I see somebody who is working in the healthcare industry, I stop, I look at them. Sometimes I don't have to say it out loud, what I'm feeling. I just say thank you for actually working in the healthcare industry, because they are helping people. During the pandemic, there were people that basically put their life on the line, their lives on the line, to help us basically with the pandemic. And some people didn't make it. Some nurses didn't make it. Healthcare assistants, they didn't make it, but some did. So it makes the storms comes in our lives to actually to help us, to give us strength, to give us hope. The storms comes in our lives basically to make us realize the other things that are in our lives that we don't value. I valued my family more when the storms came in 2020 and 21. I know lots of people, the marriages were destroyed because the people were not used to being together 24/7. But for me, I didn't look at life that way. When I looked at my children, looked at their fathers, I basically just wanted to hold on to them. Just seeing them each and every day surviving, I just praise, I just thank God every day. That gratitude and said, God, I thank you that you love me. I didn't care about the annoyance, whether they're there 24/7 and they're in my face. I didn't care. I was so grateful that I'm able to be with my family while somebody is losing a family member during the pandemic. I was so grateful to God, and I was so grateful. I looked at my children. I was so grateful that I have my children, but if somebody is losing their child because of pandemic or because of something else, those were the storm, pandemic storm. It was not a joke. We were threatened by a pandemic. The world is shut down completely. It shut down. There was no, sometimes in the shops, there was no food. So that is a storm. But what kind of a storm are you facing right now? Coming east, west, south, and north. Sometimes the storms comes in one go, just one go, and threaten your life and threaten everything that you have ever worked for. And I believe that everyone who is standing on earth has gone through a storm. My children have gone through a storm. They've had bad times at school. They've had good times. That is a storm. When a child is going through bad times, is a storm. So if anyone who says, no, sir, I've never gone through a storm, they'll be lying, and I wouldn't want to hang out with them, because everyone has faced a storm in their lives. Because I have faced so many storms in my life. But can you control the storms? No, you can't. You can't control the storms, but you can evaluate the storm. What kind of a storm is it? Because when the storms comes, it makes you helpless. It brings fear to your life emotionally. It leaves you actually terrified, not knowing what to do. That's the storms of relationships, the storms of health, storms of finances, financial struggles. The storms of not knowing which direction to take in life. What do you do when the postman delivers the news that you didn't ask for? The doctors write you a letter and the postman delivers the news that you didn't ask for. The news that makes you crazy. That is makes you question your faith, makes you question God. It makes you say, everyone is talking about God. Everyone, when I go to church, the pastor, the preachers, they preach, they say, hey, Fee, trust in him. But how can I trust if the world is trembling down? But I say, hold on. When things are not going well, it's the time where your faith has to grow. It's the time where you have to seek. You have to look at your plan. When your marriage is not working, you go back to the plan, to the original plan. You look at the manufacture of that relationship, which is you and your spouse. You don't go somewhere else. You evaluate the problem. First, you have to evaluate the problems. When finances are not you are struggling finances, first you have to evaluate the problems of your finances, your spending, before you can seek help. Then if you evaluate everything, create a plan, then that's when you go, because you have to, when you are seeking help, you have to know what kind of a help you are seeking. When you pray to God, you don't pray to God and say, God, I don't know. I don't know what is going on. You tell him, you say, God, I know what I'm going through. I'm going through the struggles of my marriage. I'm going through the struggles of my finances. I'm going through the struggles of my career. I'm going through the struggles. You have to tell him exactly as it is. Because even if God knows the struggles, what you are going through, you still have to say it out loud. Say it out loud for him to help you. Whatever your beliefs that might be. I don't know your beliefs. I don't know your beliefs. Sometimes people, when things go wrong, they question God. They question their beliefs. I have a friend, his son was killed, and when I spoke to her, she said, no, so I don't go to church anymore. I said, why? And she was like, I'm questioning if God even exists. If he does exist, where was he when my son was taken away from me? Where was he? But for me, the way I understand the Bible, God can protect you. God can protect your children. But you still need to use the weapon, asking God for protection. Even if you have that protection, he has an opposition part. So everyone talks about God, but the opposition, there is an opposition part that it threatens your faith. So it was God's opposition that it took my friend's son away from her, which is his son, God's son, because he doesn't agree with God's love. He basically, his job is, Lucifer's job is to kill, to steal, to destroy. So she questioned, she said to me, Noms, I have questioned if really God exists. I have questioned with my beliefs. But I know, for me, basically, I know that when your life is being tested, God can actually bring storms in your life. Or Lucifer can bring storms in your life. You have to know how to see. You have to know how to see. God is the God that cares. He cares for everyone. You don't have to believe in him. He cares for all his children. I don't know your beliefs that might be, but I believe that he cares for everyone. And I will never stop trusting. And I will never stop believing. I've gone through storms in my life. Some people might say, okay, you talk about God, but I'm struggling. Where is he? Where is this Jesus that you're talking about? Where is this Jesus that cares? My life is drowning in loneliness. My life is drowning in financial struggles. My life is drowning in relationship struggles. Where is this God that you're talking about? My life is drowning in depression. So how can I trust if there is a storm everywhere in my life? When you go through storms changes you. They give you confidence. They help you with confidence. That you can either, there are two choices with the storm. You can either stay down or you can choose to get up. Everything is time. When storm comes, this clock doesn't stop. It goes. The stop goes tap, 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 tap. So if you decide to stay there, questioning God, the clock is going. Is going. So everything is time. You have to make up your mind. Do you want to get up or do you want to stay there? They are maybe the plans that you have plans, maybe those plans needs to be changed. The storms don't just come into your life, they come to change plans. Even if the storms of the devil, they come to change your plans for you to distract you. So that's when you will need to respond with faith. There are so many different storms that are designed for different reasons, for different circumstances. How you respond in that storm, in every storm, is the critical component of how you are able to move forward in your life. How you respond is the critical component of how God is able to promote you as a person. For me, I believe in God. There's been storms in my life where God has put me through storms. The storms that I thought I would never make it, but I did make it. The storms where I found my life threatened by the things that I didn't ask for. We make plans in life, but no one makes plans for problems. Problems just come. We don't plan for problems. So when storms are presented in your life, some people will question their future. They'll question their beliefs. They'll ask themselves, why me? Why am I presented with these problems? Why me? When someone is being threatened by storm, they will ask questions, why me? Steve Harvey says, who do you suggest? Is there anyone you suggested to have problems instead of you? Storms, they come. It doesn't matter how educated you are. It doesn't matter how much money you have. The storms will present itself. It doesn't matter what nationality you. Everybody faces storms. Everyone on earth. When storms comes, they come basically to force you to rewrite your own story. They come to test your faith. When you say, I believe in God, the opposition, God is opposition, will say, you believe in God, right? Really. And then you find yourself, you have this beautiful life. And if all of a sudden, maybe you have lots of money, and all of a sudden it's all gone. That's test. That is faith. That is the opposition testing. How much do you love God? This God that you say you love, how much? How much? How much do you love Him? Then your life will be tested. How do you respond when storms are presented to you as a Christian or as a non-Christian? How do you respond? Do you cry? Do you go under the pillow, or do you join the feeling sorry club? Whatever your beliefs that might be, you don't have to seek God because you actually believe in God. He helps even people that don't believe in Him. He will come and help you without you knowing. He basically doesn't want a trophy or a medal to help you. All he wants those who are seeking for help. You have to, in your heart, cry out for help. So if you are crying out for help, and he feels that this person needs my help, he will help you. You don't have to say, I believe in him. He will help you because you believe that you want to solve these problems. But if you are somebody that is not prepared to recreate your plan, because when you are going through storms, it's like storms of health problems. It means you have to have a healthy plan. If the doctor tells you that you need to lose weight, that means you need to create a plan. How are you going to lose that weight? When the business is not working, you need to create a plan. Storms are there to force you to rewrite your own story, basically, your original one. It doesn't mean that is not bad, but there is there, basically, how you respond to the storm is there for you to seek help, is there for you to actually, it's basically testing your strength. When you have faith, when you have faith, when the storms is presented to you, it doesn't mean you have to switch off. Your faith, you have to still believe. And when storms are presented to me, I still need to believe. I still need to believe in God. I still believe that if God defeated death, if God raised Lazarus from the dead, that means he can help me with any storm. I still have to believe that. I still have to believe that whatever is going on in my life at that moment is temporal. Every storm is temporal. It's not permanent. There is no such thing as a permanent problems. Every storm is temporal. Storms present itself to help you look at your life deeper. Deep. It helps you to go deep. Evaluate what is important to you, what is important to your life. When storms of the pandemic last year in 2020, I was actually evaluating what is important in my life. You can look at me. When I walk, I'm dressing sexy. I'm looking good. But clothes are not important to me. My children are important. My health is important. My spouse is important. My family are important. My friends are important. The storms of the pandemic storms were there to shake me. But not everyone saw it the same way that I saw the storms. They were there for me. They were there to shake me. They were there. The storms was there to let me know that nothing lasts forever. We are not here on earth forever. Anything can change. But when that change, will I be able to take my clothes that I'm protecting? Because some people will work really, really hard, protect their wardrobe, forgetting their soul inside of them. Because when storms comes, you have to protect your soul. It means that you have to evaluate, you have to see the value of your soul. When you see the value of your soul, it means that I refuse to go into depression because my soul is more important than to worry about the financial problems that I'm going to solve tomorrow. And then my soul if I get sick, I cannot get my health back. But if I look after my soul when my life is not going the way it was meant to be, but I still protect my soul because I know that problem is not here to stay. Storm is there to test your loyalty. When storms comes into your life, your loyalty is being tested. Some people, they'll tell you that, you know what, you're my friend and I care about you. And some people, they'll say to their spouse, you know, I love you. I love you with all my heart. I cannot see my life. They'll even go to a state where they'll say, I cannot see my life without you. But when storms comes, they're like, no, this is not what I asked for. They're out. Like, I'm out. This is not what I've asked for. They leave. Because storms in relationships will be presented. When finances, people, when they are struggling, like right now, the economy is not good. Food is going up. But pay salary for people with low income is not going up. That means their lives is being tested. And when your life is being tested, it means you have to evaluate your life. The storms of sickness, they don't come to stay. So how do you basically overcome the storm when the company you've been working for many, many years release you from your job and tell you that we can't afford you anymore? Dark times. How do you overcome those dark times? You still need to seek. God says if you seek, you will find the doors of opportunities will be open to you if you seek me. Storms are there to remind us what is important in our lives. Stay humbled, to appreciate each other, every one of us. Sometimes when storms comes, you find that we have friends that are not real. So the storms comes to show us who is really in our lives. It comes to show us, to help us with our foundation, the foundation of our relationship, the foundation of our lives, the foundation of our everyday to-day lives. That's what the storms comes for. So you will find that when you are facing the storm, the friends that you thought they were your friends, you find that they are fake friends, because they will be like, I'm out. I don't want to basically face this, or I don't want to listen to my friend going on about what she's going through, and they'll be like, I'm out. Maybe we have people in our lives, we have things in our lives that does not serve us anymore. So when the storms comes, when you evaluate those things, it's how you respond to everything, is how you respond to have every situation. There's so many people that I've met who have lost, some lost their children, who their children have been murdered. What do you do when your child is being murdered and you don't expect? How do you forgive? If I can tell you that I know how to deal with it, I'll be lying, because if I have never gone through that situation, I cannot tell you how to deal with that storm. I can't tell you because I don't know how it feels, but I can tell you how it feels to lose a parent, because I lost my father, I lost my grandparents, I lost my stepdad, and I lost my stepmom. I can tell you how it feels to lose your loved ones, because I've gone through it. I can tell you how it feels. It feels like the world has been turned upside down. But if you don't know how to seek God to heal every pain in your life, you have to know how to seek Him if you believe in Him. Sometimes the storms comes to help us clear up the wind. There are some unwanted things in our lives that we avoid. But when storms comes, it comes to shake everything. It comes to shake everything. Sometimes you have the life like things that God did not plant in your life. You will have problems, you will have friends that are just there to use you. But when the storm comes, it helps you to realize those kind of friends so you can uproot them in your life. You see, everyone talks about image, how beautiful it is to know who you are, to understand, to basically to where you to be authentic. But when storms comes, do you stay authentic? What do you do when the storm comes? Do you look at your image and say, this is who I am? Because the storms does not have to change you. Sometimes the storms comes to help you to unlock the secrets about life. They come basically, it's natural, it's nature. Storms, basically, they're natural. They don't come because of what we've done. Some people will say, maybe I've seen or storms comes in so many ways. They don't come because of what we've done. They are there to open doors of opportunities that we wouldn't open, because when the storms comes, you will be basically, you get out of your comfort zone. I have faced so many storms in my life in a way that my life has been tested, and I look at the storm and I say, you want to test me? You want to test my faith? You want to test the God that I believe, how much I love God. And I have to say out loud that by the power in the blood of Jesus, any problem that God did not plant in my life, let it be uprooted in Jesus' name. Any problem, anything that is coming to test me, that God did not plant, any tree that God did not plant in my life, let it be uprooted. The tree of problems, the tree of fake friends, the tree of a job that is causing destruction, that does not move me forward, the tree of tribes that does not move me forward. When the problems comes, they come to shake you, they come for you to actually go deep into your foundation, go deep into your life and look at your life. But sometimes we choose to join in the feeling sorry club. But when you look at storms, you have to look at them as, okay, this is what it is. But I'm ready. I look at storms in 2019 and 2020, 21. That was last year. 2020 during the pandemic. I wanted to move house and we moved house. We basically, everything was planned. We were so happy. Everything was planned. And we found this beautiful house that we liked. We got so excited. The area we live in a good area anyway. Henley Thames is a beautiful area. It's lovely. People are lovely. And we were so happy that we were gonna move and this place and it's so beautiful. But last minute, our world was turned upside down. When people change their mind, people change their mind. They have a choice. Like last minute, and people, we wanted to exchange. So the deadline was we need to get out of the house so somebody can take the house, but we didn't have a home. I found myself, my life being tested. You know, when your life is being tested, basically, sometimes you don't know what to do, but I knew what I needed to do. I just needed somebody. I just needed my in-laws. Basically, if they said yes, I said to myself, if my father-in-law said yes, you guys can come and stay with me. I don't care how I'm gonna leave, but I'm gonna move in and be grateful. And there was so much noise that why can't you do this? Everyone had an idea of how my life should be, how my children's life should be, how my spouse's life should actually behave, what he should do. But there was so much noise. But I said to everyone, there will be a house for me. There will be a home for me where I'm gonna move in. I don't have to move out of town. Because it was during the pandemic, there were no houses. There were no houses. No one wanted to move out. People wanted to stay where they were. Houses were not coming up in the area where we were, and everyone kept saying, you can move out. I love Henley. I moved from Essex 2 hours away, basically just to be here. They have good schools. It's beautiful. It's just to be here is beautiful. It's so beautiful. So I love the place. It's beautiful. I was like, I'm not moving out. So much noise. I'm not moving out of town. The house will come out. Basically, we will find another house. But I stayed. Was it my choice? No, it wasn't my choice. Where I was living, it was never my choice to be there. We stayed 7 months went on. And we only found the house last week. Those were the storms. Sometimes you go and look at the house if you don't respond very quickly because you still need to think about it, and everyone has to agree, and you check the house is taking. There were so many things that were involved, but those were the storms that I had to actually not to put up with them. It made me realize actually what is important to me. It made me realize the importance of my faith. That when I walk with God, I will never ever get disappointed in my life, because the the house was something that has to put me to under the pillow. But if it was before, I'll be under the pillow wondering, why am I going through this pain? Why am I facing these problems? But I wasn't able to do that. I was able to believe that I will stay in the city where I am, the city that I love. I believed in my heart that there will be a house for me. And I believed 100%. I trusted God. And I didn't get stressed. I didn't get any depression every single day. I knew that I was covered with the blood of Jesus. I knew that the promises that He has made, that in the Bible, that if you trust in me, trust in everything will be added to you. And I had to hold on to that trust. I don't know what you believe, or if you don't believe in God or you believe in the universe, you got to trust. You got to trust what you believe in. For me, I had to trust. I had to hold on. I had to hold on to what I believe in. I had to stand on the promises that He has made in the Bible. That if you trust in me, you trust it, believe in me. There is no other like me. And I had to trust. There were times where Lucifer would test my life, would test my passion. I would look and I would smile. And I say, I trust my God. I trust in Him. Sometimes it will bring noise. You know, when people are making a comment, assumptions, not knowing what you're feeling. Everyone had something to say about it. But I had to trust. I had to trust. Storms come into our lives to open doors. It helped me with my confidence. Just going through storms, it helped me to realize that everything that I do, when I die, I'm not going to take it with me. My soul is more important. All I'm going to take is my soul. So it made me realize that my soul is more important than anything else. And my friends, my family, they are more important than any material. So that's made me realize, do I still stop spoiling myself or doing the things that I love material wise? No, I'm not going to stop doing that, but it's not going to be my priority. My priority is to protect my soul, not to protect my wardrobe, because there are so many people who will step on the outside like I did before, making sure that when they step on the outside, they're not stepping in the mud. They protect their wardrobe, neglecting their soul. So when the storms comes, the first thing that I need to realize is my soul. Am I okay? Have I eaten? My health wise, am I looking after myself? Because I can tell you, if you are going through relationship problems, all you can do, you can't solve any problems by screaming, shouting, and fighting somebody. All you can do is seek help and eat, have a good night's sleep, Look after yourself, not hoping that things will sort itself out, hoping that you will solve the problems. So that's how life it is. You have to protect your soul no matter what, how much you're going through, no matter what pain, how much pain you are going through, you still have to protect your soul. You still have to make sure that you eat properly. You still have to make sure that you have a good night's sleep. How do you do that? Is it by pretending as nothing is hasn't happened? No, you don't. You have to stand in the promises that God made for you. You have to believe in those promises. If you don't believe in them, believe in something. Find something that you believe in and stand in those promises. Don't let depression take over your life. Meditate. Cry if you want to cry. You can cry, you can scream. You can scream if you want to scream. You can shout if you want to shout. If I want to scream myself, I scream. I don't care what people think of me. What I care about is what I'm feeling and how am I responding to the problems. Because if I care what people think of me as a person, I'm just going to be drowning and drowning and drowning. Basically, while I'm worrying about what people are going to judge me, people are going to do this. I don't care about that. So if things are not going well, just sort it out. How you going to sort it out is your decision is important. Your decision is more important than worrying about, okay, now people see this life that I'm living, and now if they're not going to see me living that, it doesn't matter. Their life change. Things change. So when I was going through something, things that I had to realize is my soul is more important, because if I neglect myself, that means I'm not going to live the life that I want. So for me to live the life that I want is to protect my soul. I can dance. If my soul is happy, I can dance. I can sing any song that I want. I can sing. I can be happy. I can smile, because I'm protecting my soul, because I am aware that my soul is more important. I can say hallelujah when I need to respond to say hallelujah. I can say God loves me. When I'm presented by a storm, I will say God loves me. And you, storm, you are here to help me to grow. The storm is there to help you to grow. I wouldn't have started a talk show if a pandemic wasn't there. So I had to come up with a plan. What can I do? How am I going to spend my time on TV? How am I going to? I had to do something. And I had to look at my life, ask myself, what is important to me? My friends are important to me. My family are important to me. My environment, my children fall under in my family. My environment is important to me. The foundation of my life is very, very important for me to keep planting, even if I'm going with pain, I'm being hit by the struggles, by the loneliness, the hit in the head. You know, when the problems comes, they're like hitting you. Financial struggles, when they are hitting you, relationship struggles, it's like something is hitting. How do I go on? How do you go on when life hits you with things that you've never asked for? And you have to be still. Be still. Be still. Let the problem know that I'm not avoiding you. I'm aware that your problems are here. Be still. Be still. Be still, don't ignore problems, don't hide, just be still and face them. It doesn't matter whether it's health problems, face them. It doesn't matter whether it's a relationship struggle, face them by being honest and be truthful to yourself. You can't, when you're blaming, that means you are lying. So you don't have to blame anyone. I've sent the phone to Africa and I'm being asked to pay loads of money to actually pay taxi for the phone to be released. So I say, no, you can send it back because there's a return address, return my product, and then I'll send it with somebody else. I don't have to sit here worrying about anything. If they lose it, they'll pay for it. As straightforward. So God bless you, everyone, and live with grace. And Gossip Talk Shows family, please subscribe to our channel on YouTube. And we are here Monday to Friday, Gossip Talk Shows, 1 p.m. UK time. Please get in touch if you want to find your own voice, lead from within, or if you are simply looking for love, get in touch at Hope Springs Eternal Introduction Agency. The website is there. And stay safe.